We start the program in earnest, and we're still fighting corruption in Nigeria. Well, the talk about Nigeria being corrupt is still general talk everywhere. And of course, that's the reason why they say our country is the way it is. With all the money that Nigeria is supposed to have, Nigeria should actually have reached where we say we're going to reach by 2020. We should have got there already. But corruption is the bane of our society, and corruption is damaging and ruining our country. So the question now is, shall we ever win the fight against corruption? To look at this with us, we have two legal practitioners. It's my pleasure to welcome Mr. Kayode Komolafe. Good morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
As well as Mr. Olumide Fuseka.
Good morning.
Who
Thanks.
abandoned us for not even months, years. Welcome. It's good to see you again.
I didn't abandon you. Thanks for inviting me.
You are very welcome.
Thank you.
Now, let me begin with a very basic question, and I will start with you, Mr. Komolafe.
Very well.
How well do you think we're doing in this fight against corruption, which we tout a lot? We've set up EFCC, we have the CPC, we have all those agencies ostensibly to fight corruption.
Thank you very much. I honestly don't think we have achieved much in the fight against corruption, because we concentrate more on the celebrated cases. And corruption is so grossly endemic in the Nigerian society that when you make so much noise about celebrated cases and suggest that by doing so we're making progress, it's pure deception. Corruption is seen everywhere.
Walking on two legs, as they say.
I think walking on four legs now, that makes it faster. It moves faster in that way. You see, until the average man walking on the streets of Ujuelegba or Shogunle or Oshodi sees in the leadership sufficient seriousness to fight corruption, we certainly will not achieve much. Because when you see a man who glaringly has embezzled billions of naira, taken to court, goes through what is supposed to be a judicial process, and then he returns with a pat on the back. And then you find a man who stole a goat, sent to prison for 5 years. You wonder what the justice is. And that will never convince the average man on the streets of Nigeria that we're fighting corruption. Instead, we're encouraging it. I say to people all the time, when we were growing up, the most you heard of when it came to money was thousands of naira. Then we moved to millions. Now we're talking billions. And very soon, if care is not taken, we will be talking trillions.
Oh dear.
Are we not already talking trillions when we come to the fuel subsidy saga? And so, for anyone to say that we're gaining ground, it's just to play the ostrich. Okay. We've got a lot more work to do.
Okay. Now, Mr. Fusika, the judiciary, what kind of look are you giving me, Mr. Fusika? The role of the judiciary in this fight cannot be overemphasized. How well do you think the judiciary is doing in this fight?
I'm sorry, but before answering that question, if you permit me, my colleague here said something that I would like us to clarify a bit. It is true, corruption is endemic. When something is endemic, how do you fight it? Maybe that's not what he wanted to convey, but I don't think that you can fight it by fighting everybody. It's not going to be effective. I think that the way that you do it is to try and persuade people that going that route will not pay. And that is by making striking examples. In other words, rather than trying to catch 1,000 thieves or bringing them to justice, we don't even have the facility or the resources to be able to do that. You look at the significant ones and make good examples of them. And what do I mean by this? If you talk of police corruption, and you are able to get the Inspector General of Police.
Well, we have done that. Nigeria has done that.
No, in handcuffs.
Yes.
You know, maybe that will send a signal to the lower level, the lower rank officers to know that, look, if our boss can be treated this way, we will not go the same way. Because, I mean, it does mean that someone as powerful as that has been dealt with in a way that gives a clear example as to what happens to people that are corrupt.
Would you say that Balogun's arrest had any effect? Ibori's arrest?
No,
Ibori's in jail now.
It had effect initially until we began to have had reasons to make comments about that. Yet, I think either here or some other, when people started talking, oh, why did they put him in handcuff? Why did they do this? Why did they do that? You know? So, today, you find that when these high caliber rooks are arrested or, you know, being arraigned, and I challenge you, go to any of this where they are trying the governors, where they take the governors, you know, just go behind the scene and see what is going on. It comes to the courts, because I've seen it several times, you know, guided with armed, he has personal security guards, he still controls police control, and is facing criminal charges. You know, when he's going into the dock, it's a policeman that will collect his bag, collect his phone, answer. You know, so what are we saying? You know, so when you give that kind of examples and you treat people as if they are above the law, or that they have special privileges that others should not have, where we copy all these things, or where we see examples all over the world, you know. Once you are indicted and you are facing, you know, certain privileges are taken away from you, are withdrawn. You are not supposed to be enjoying all those things. Now you are accused of stealing public fund, and then we are using public fund with guns. I'm talking of people carrying guns and all that. I'm not talking of the prosecutors bringing him to court. I'm talking of personal staff, you know, with taxpayers' money, gun purchased with taxpayers' money, policemen paid with taxpayers' money, guiding, you know, quote and unquote, a thief. So what examples are we giving? So it is important for us to make striking examples. You know, if you're talking about corruption in the judiciary, just pick one significant person, you know, and deal with him appropriately. You know, and then people will begin, well, maybe if we say this generation is lost, maybe those of our children that are coming up, when they see these things happening, you know, it would have some effect on their psyche, and they will begin, look, I don't want to get to that top and then crash. Okay. That's part of it.
We'll just take a short break and we'll come back and continue the discussion.